If you don't have an RESP, you're missing out. As with most things in life, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is, except when it comes to RESPs. If you want to help your children or your grandchildren and give them the gift of education, why not get an extra 20% free from the government in the form of Canadian Education Savings Grants? Let's go through how it works. I'm Anna Hilberry. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. The golden sunshine of September is upon us and kids are returning to school. Some of them for the first time. Today I just dropped my child off for kindergarten, my daughter. She is so cute. It was a mixture of happiness and sadness for me, all in one bundle. And this had me thinking about my daughter and my son's future. And of course, I have an RESP, or Registered Education Savings Plan, for them already set up and working. Oftentimes I have clients that will come to me and they'll want to provide for their children or their grandchildren in their will. They'll want to give them a monetary gift, or they're thinking about giving it to them today. But if you just give them a lump sum of cash, more than likely, especially if they're younger, they're not adults, more than likely they're just going to spend it on something that is not going to add a huge amount of value to their lives. And it may not have that lasting impact that you're looking for. I mean, remember, those are hard-earned dollars for you. You want to have the biggest meaningful impact possible. So why not help encourage and support them in getting an education? And education will give you a better career and possibly a higher income and a better life overall. So let's go through how an RESP, or Registered Education Savings Plan, works. RESP grants. You can contribute up to $2,500 per year, and no matter what your income level is, you'll receive a matching 20% contribution up to $500 from the government in the form of a Canadian Education Savings Grant from Employment and Social Development Canada. Wow, it's a mouthful. What that means is for every $1 you put into the RESP per beneficiary, you'll receive 20 cents from the government. That's 20% guaranteed contribution and return on your money, so to speak. It's a pretty darn good deal. Usually the government wants tax dollars, so it tells you how meaningful, important, and education really is to our children and our youth in our society. And it's worth it to take advantage of that. Now you can receive that grant money every year up until December 31st of the year the child turns 17. So you've got 17 years to make it happen. Now what happens if you miss a year or two? You can actually make up for it. So let's say you want to make a contribution of $2,500 this year and you missed another year. Well, you can actually make an extra $2,500, so for a total of $5,000 in any one year if you're making up for a carry forward year, and receive $1,000 in contribution grant money from the government. There's a maximum contribution limit per beneficiary of $50,000 from you out of your pocket, and then a maximum grant limit of $7,200 per child. Again, a really great deal, and I sure wish I had had that kind of money set aside for me. Additional grants. For low-income families, there is the Canada Learning Bond for a maximum contribution grant of $2,000, and some provinces have their own special grants. So for example, in BC, there's a BC Training and Education grant for children between the ages of 6 and 9. There's a one-time special grant when you apply for it of $1,200. So the government really wants to financially support and encourage post-secondary education in our youths. For illustrative purposes only, let's go through how those contributions are taxed. Any kind of contribution or grant from the government will grow tax-free in the RESP until withdrawal. So what that means is, if you have a daughter or a granddaughter, for example, and let's say she wants to be a doctor and she's attending her first year of university. Let's assume she wants to take out those grant monies or earnings or interest that has grown in the account. It'll be taxed as an education assistance payment, or EAPS. It'll be taxed on her income for that year. Now, if you're attending university, and let's assume you want to become a doctor and you're studying very hard and you're getting all those straight A's that are necessary, well, it's likely that your income is going to be pretty low. Most students don't make a lot of money, even co-op students. They're usually not paid very much. So when you have those earnings and they're included in your income, it's likely that you'll pay very little to no tax on it. Now, for tax questions, of course, you should always refer to your accountant for their expert advice. Family plan versus individual. Which one is better? In my opinion, if you have a family plan, it's much more flexible than a plan for an individual. If you have a group of siblings and you want to give money for them collectively for their education, and let's say you have two of them and one of them decides not to pursue post-secondary education, or could be trade school, whatever it is, then the money that was contributed for both of them is still available for the other sibling. Whereas with an individual plan, if you contribute the money to that plan and that individual decides not to pursue university, and you have another individual plan for another sibling, well, they're stuck with their plan, and the one that was for the one that decided not to go to university, the grants go back to the government and you get your contributions back. So a family plan gives you more opportunity for variation between one sibling versus the other. Who can open an RESP for a beneficiary? Anyone. You could be a family member, a relative, a friend, for an individual plan. The only exception is if it is a family plan, which I said earlier was more preferential. You can only open them for beneficiary if you are a parent, a grandparent, you're related by blood, or through adoption. For more information, check out this Government of Canada website. It's got a whole bunch of information on it. There's definitely a few more things to consider, a few more details in there. So wade through it and definitely get some expert advice. I'm Anna Hilbury. I hope this has been helpful for you. Thank you for listening.